Hi, today I'm gonna show how the incoming note of scale of goods related to the domestic procurement flow can be manually received in the application. I will explain three different ways about how the incoming note of scale can be received in the application. First, when the self-billing option is unselected for the supplier and the receipt and the matching will be done in the manual supplier invoice. Second, when the self-billing is unselected for the supplier and the receipt will be done prior to the incoming note of scale and the matching will be done in the manual supplier invoice. And third, when the self-billing option is selected for the supplier. In this example, my supplier is already unselected for the self-billing in the invoice PO matching tab. I will start this example by creating a new purchase order in the application and selecting the supplier in the list of values. As you can see, the default business transaction ID set for the supplier is fetched for the purchase order header. Once the purchase order header is saved, you can enter the purchase parts in the Part Lines tab. In this example, the external tax system Avalara will be used for tax determination. When the line is created and the part is selected in the list of values, you can define the quantity. In the procurement flow with the external tax system, price is always handled as gross. We can also check some details such as acquisition reason, acquisition origin, and goods service statistical codes, which in this case is the NCM code for the goods, fetched for the purchase order line. When the line is saved, application will communicate the request file to the external tax system and record the information from the response file. You can check the CFOP code returned by external tax system in the business operation field, and also you can check the taxes details found and returned in the line details order line taxes. The purchase order line taxes dialog displays all the tax-related information found by the external tax system and recorded per tax. Details such as tax base, percentage, and tax amount can be verified in this dialog. Freight, insurance, and expenses can be informed for the purchase order in the Charges tab. In this example, I will inform some freight amount, and for that I will use a purchase charge type, which is defined with category National Freight. After informing the charge amount, we need to connect this charge for the line and release number. When the charge is connected to the line and release number, and line is saved, the application will send a new integration file to Avalara to refetch the tax calculation, since the freight insurance and expenses may affect the tax base for the goods. As you can see in this example, the freight included for the purchase order line is communicated to Avalara, and it changed the tax base amount previously returned in the first integration and also the tax amount. Now I will confirm the purchase order and start the receipt process in the incoming Nota Fiscal page. Here I will enter a new record, select the document type Nota Fiscal. Here you have two options. You can inform supplier and site, or directly type the purchase order reference. In this case, the application will automatically fetch supplier and site for the incoming Nota Fiscal header. Now you have to inform the document series and select the fiscal document model in the list of values. The fiscal documents displayed in this list of values are fetched from the component C in the official invoice numbers. Now you have to inform the document number and the entry date and save the record. By using the option copy unreceived PO lines, the application will fetch the purchase order lines available for receipt. We can also check in the nested list the charges connected for given the purchase order line. Using the tax lines button, you can check the tax information copied from the related purchase order line. In the NFE CTE information tab, you can enter the 44-character key of the electronic Nota Fiscal. Next step is to approve the incoming Nota Fiscal. When self-billing is not selected for supplier, you can create the supplier invoice by selecting the command button Create Manual Supplier Invoice in the header. Then select the button Manual Supplier Invoice to see the Manual Supplier Invoice created. When self-billing invoice is not selected for the supplier, you have to register the arrival using the option Receive in the Manual Supplier Invoice page. Just click the OK button and proceed. The application will receive the inventory parts in the stock. Now we can do the matching of the supplier invoice with the receipt by using the option Match Purchase Order Receipts per line. Select the receipt previously done and click the OK button. Now I will show how to receive the incoming Nota Fiscal with the supplier unselected for self-billing and doing the receipt prior to the incoming Nota Fiscal. I will copy the purchase order. As you can see, the self-billing is unselected for the line, okay? And I will confirm it. In the page Register Arrivals, I will find my purchase order and receive it using the option Receive. Now the inventory part is already available in the stock. In the incoming Nota Fiscal page, I will start the receipt process. In this case, I will bring the lines from purchase order using the option Copy Unmatched PO Receipts, since the receipt is already done for my purchase order. Same way, the application will copy all the line details, including the taxes, from the related purchase order line. I will inform the 44-character key. And approve the Nota Fiscal. As the self-billing invoice is not selected for my supplier, I have to create the supplier invoice by using the option Create Manual Supplier Invoice in the page header. Then, Manual Supplier Invoice to view the invoice created. In the Manual Supplier Invoice page, we just need to do the matching of the purchase order receipts to the invoice line. Now I will explain this process by using the supplier which is selected for self-billing. Let's create a new purchase order. Select the supplier from the list of values. Save the record. Include the purchase part in the Part Lines tab. Define the quantity. In this case, I will also connect some freight. And I will confirm this purchase order. Now I will go to the incoming Nota Fiscal page again. Enter a new record. Select the document type Nota Fiscal. Enter the purchase order reference. Inform the document series, the fiscal document model, document number, entry date, and save the record. Same way, I will use the option Copy and Receive the PO lines. As you can see here, we have the purchase order line copied and also the freight. Now I will inform the 44 character key. And approve the Nota Fiscal. In this case, since the self-billing is selected for the supplier, I can register the purchase order arrival using the option Receive in the incoming Nota Fiscal page. When I select this option, the dialog Receive will be displayed and you can select OK button and proceed with the receipt process. In this case, the self-billing invoice will be automatically created and the goods will be arrived into the stock. You can check the inventory transactions created in the inventory transactions history. So, this is all about the receipt of incoming Nota Fiscal of goods for domestic procurement flow in the application with the 3 different ways supported for manual receipt. Bye!